I think yes, but he will be back with us shortly, and we are here for this final match for PPE Revival versus OneHP, and this is definitely going to be shaping up to be a good one. just a bit of background while we're getting this all sorted out here. PPE Revival, as you may have seen last week live on stream, have managed to make their way through a close fought victory against Morph Black to get their way through. They have previously in the regular stages gone down 3-0 against OneHP, but this is a stronger lineup and a stronger team than what we have seen previously there. And they'll be going up against, on the other side, OneHP, who have been absolute monsters here in this division. They have pretty much won every match they've been in a pretty dominant fashion. They have absolutely destroyed every team they've come up against. So definitely a tough opponent for PPE to go up against, but it's looking like it would be a great match.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear.
Thank God. So we hopped in here, we went live, and Peronius said the very first word of his intro, and my entire audio died for my PC.
Oof.
So that's always a classic. And I don't know if the game noise is coming through, but this is just background. We're not actually live right now. We're waiting for someone in a restart, so that's if game audio is live, that's what you're hearing. Don't worry about it. But my name is Graham. I don't know if Peronius actually said that, but I think this is going to be exciting because OneHP, they've been so very good.
Absolutely. OneHP have been absolute monsters in this division, but PPE Ascent, the former Sanctum roster, have been absolutely running a hot streak. They got through Morph Black last week. If there's any team that could knock down OneHP, it is this squad here from PPE Revival.
Well, I think the Revival, I mean, they're top guys. It's just a matter of execute to the level that we know and love. I mean, it's tough. I think going in, I definitely favor OneHP.
Yeah.
But it really could be close.
Well, let's hope so, because definitely that's the sort of match we want for our grand finals. For those of you joining us from home, it will be PPE Revival playing from the red and OneHP playing from the blue as we start things off here on Lijiang Tower Night Market. And here come the doors down as the teams get underway. If you are looking at these comps and a little confused, we are of course still operating under the old rules, so there is no roll lock enforced as this first fight gets underway.
Oh, absolutely very the fact that there is no roll lock. But we do have a team getting right on the point right now. Kind of bully them back a little bit. See, that's a lot of positioning for red, but can they find these kills? They're looking around trying to find anything that they can in this scenario, but they have the first cap with everyone alive. Not often you see that.
Ooh, Shatter comes in early from Tanatuba. That's a great start to this one, but still nothing coming from it. There goes in the counter Shatter from Flager as well, but still no kills coming through either of these teams. This really does show the difference of this meta. They're able to grab in and immediately counter by the sound barrier there. Another Shatter coming in from Flager. Still no kills on either team. This is an incredible fight, and all this time, points still ticking up, but there goes Tanatuba at last.
No kills coming through, but there's a Diva Bomb out on the field. It's not going to do anything other than negate the shield from the Reinhardt. Oh, the Coalescence out too. Both Coalescences out even. Still trying to find these kills. Time is still ticking away. Up to 40% grab now. For blue, they are starting to get these kills. They should be able to get this cap through.
Yeah, absolutely. OneHP winning this fight eventually in the end, but at 48% when it flips, PPE Revival definitely making out like bandits there, especially considering that the first and only kills of that fight came through against them, and it still took a considerable amount of time before that point was finally able to be flipped. So PPE Revival definitely coming out in a good position there, and Proficient has got that grab up already.
But can they get in? There's the rally, and Tyler's got a great opening pick on the Flagar. Eon goes down too. Tyler on the Zenyatta is popping off in all kinds of ways. Can he find anything else? Can his team find what they need to try and close it. Of course, Tyler's got a third. Why not? And that will be surely any moment now a recap.
Yeah, only a matter of time until these last few stragglers are cleaned up. They are going to buy every percentage point they can, but it is going to be all of it. Void just standing in the corner, taking the death, getting the reset there, buying a little bit of time, and at 45%, PPE Revival will take back control of things. And more importantly, they do have pretty much all of their big tank ultimates online, plus a defensive sound barrier, so they're going to be in a great position to win this next fight as well.
Oh, and all these ults coming out on the field. There's Devo with a quick one, but now so much going on, and kills though, they are still going the way of the boys in blue. Flagar is going to get one more on to Zarya, and this is looking very, very dire there. Things even back up.
Yeah, absolutely. A great Diva Bomb Shatter combo gets the early pick onto Tyler. That gives OneHP the opening they need to tear open this fight. And unfortunately for PPE Revival, they invest the sound barrier after that opening kill, try to win the fight 5v6, not able to get anything of it. As a result, they're finding themselves a little short on resources now, but at 85%, they really only do need to win the one more fight, and they should be able to get that through. They just need to wrest the point back from 1HP further.
They're trying to fight this out in yard right now. Diva Bomb's gonna go through it. Actually catches the Lucio. Very nicely done. Now is Trans out to try and keep their boys alive. Will this work out? Still so many players quite up right now and doing it very well. But Tyler with a nice kill. There's a nice 2 from Canna. And now this will be a flip. This is gonna be so close. 88 to 85 as it flips over Peronius. This literally could not be closer.
It could not be closer, but it's a very uncomfortable position to be in if you are the members of 1HP. They're gonna have to rush through just to get a touch, which means they can't come in as a unified team. There's a lot of room to go along. They do get the point touch they need with the thanks of their Lucio and Phoebe, but there are so many things that can go wrong. They actually do manage to get together and onto the point as a team though. That's the first challenge done, but the boys picking up so that is absolutely huge. That is the opening they need, but look at those trade backs.
Tyler just running it back. Canu's there as well, and this is in fact going to be segment 1 going their way with a team kill to boot to end the game, or the segment.
An incredible comeback after comeback all through this round. These teams are not giving any quarter to each other. They're not giving up any ground without a fight. PPE Revival eventually able to get that one through just on the bare end, but incredibly hard fought. 1HP had so many things that could have gone wrong on just the entry to that fight. They managed to get in and through and pick up the opening kills with an incredible Diva Bomb, but unfortunately at that point their formation falls apart and PPE Revival collapse on them. So incredible performance from both these teams. And now we're going over to Garden, where we're going to see a very different look from both of these teams, as we see a bit more DPS in the game, and this is absolutely an opportunity for 1HP to bring this one back.
Question is can these DPS battles, there is of course a pair of Pharahs on the field, kind of brawl around, but really no real engagements there. Tyler and Water's Edge will fall. Tanu going down as well. It's actually the Orisa doing all the work on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Flago going wild on that Orisa, and that is going to be 1HP getting the early point control here. And this may result in some team comps from PPE Revival, because the composition they're running right now is not great for assaulting into the point without having that control. Bad does get taken down by GJJF, but the res is there from Rebuy, so still no changes as of yet as this next fight gets underway, but Water's Edge going down early is not a good start.
No, not really the start that you're looking for. But they are still trying to get on this point. They found some positioning, and there's a really lovely shot by Proficient, taking down the Mercy. That means no res, no heals. That's so huge. Gets another one on to the Pharah, doing a lot of work there. Proficient.
Proficient indeed, as he shuts down that fight. And we begin to see some composition swaps now coming through from PPE Revival rather. They're still not bringing out a more sturdy main tank, so they're still relying on a very DPS heavy lineup, but they do have that EMP about to come online from DJ Jeff. That could be their opportunity here. Tanatuva going down early suggests that maybe they will be waiting, but Shiny's going in for the res. They've lost Mitochondria in the meantime, though.
This is such a tough spot to be in. The late
sleep.
Such a delayed kill there. DJ Jeff falling super late. Not even up yet. We've been talking about this for it feels like an hour, and DJ Jeff still finally spawns. Such a huge stagger. Massive delay. And to get the early pick on the Mitochondria, that either forces out, you have to go for the res, or you've got to wait for the spawn, and it looks like the spawn is what we're waiting on.
Yeah, I don't think the res is off cooldown yet.
That bot 30% up on a single kill.
And now the ultimate's coming out just to deny that zoning as well. Tanatuva is already dead. There's the EMP being committed. It's desperation time here. But an early kill on Void maybe, just maybe, gives them what they need to trade this one back.
Finish it though. Another kill on the Mitochondria. Eon doing work on the Pharah. And I think this should be pretty much done and dusted here. Making us even go into segment number 3. Yeah, there's nothing to try and get even close. They pull it out. And that is another segment in the book, but this time it's 100-0. A domination.
Yeah, big change of pace from these teams, and OneHP looking very good on this, whereas PPE Revival just really struggling to even get into the game there. Unfortunately, they just had people getting picked off and staggered out constantly. I think half the round was just spent waiting for players to spawn, and then the moment someone popped their head out, a Hanzo arrow went through it, and then they were waiting again. But we'll be moving over now to the control center, an opportunity for PPE to go back to this GOATS roster. It looks like OneHP. They're going to be running the main here. We have seen that a fair bit on this particular stage. Definitely some nice tight hallways to really punish with that May wall. So an opportunity here. We'll see if this one goes as well as it did for PPE as it did on Night Market.
Maywall doesn't do a ton off the bat, wasn't able to lock the player that he was trying to in, but still a solid effort and is giving them decent positioning. Now there's the Maywall trying to trap him in, but instead it's Flagor to be the first to fall. Eon down as well, and this is looking like it is going to be the Revival taking the point. Although T-Boy trying to delay it, will fall late.
Yeah, but there it is, Revival going up there, and you have to wonder as well how many of these teams are still practicing GOATS at all, or if all of their practice has moved over towards the more roll-lock 2-2-2 competition that we know is going to be the rules for a lot of upcoming tournaments. So you do have to give them the benefit of the doubt there that maybe OneHP haven't been playing this meta. But Tanatuva closes in on that Graviton, absolutely cleans it up. Couple of ultimates invested, but the point is going to keep ticking up for the members of PPE. Still, ultimates a fair way off with the exception of that Mail and Nano boost for the members of OneHP.
Well, they are trying to come right back in here. 1HP, can they find a way? There is the May freeze, and it's going to catch a couple players, but the Transcendence keeps Tanu alive, and that is so very huge. The Shatter comes out as well, but Shiny Hero, the only one to find the kill. Graviton is massive. The Anti is there as well, the Diva Bomb, but no, none of that gets found. No kills have been exchanged with all these ultis being expended on the field. And with that, it's looking more and more like the Revival, they're going to be able to maintain this point. They're up to 65% as these players trying to escape, and Phoebe dies so late.
Yeah, the late kill onto Phoebe there triggers the go button. You see Shiny Hero dropping the speed boost, and they move in. They take out Flagor as well, and as much as that last round in Gardens was a disaster for the members of PPE Revival, this is looking to be a similar disaster for 1HP. As they're still so far away from getting onto this point, they don't have a lot of ultimates available, and here comes another grab.
Gonna find Flagor, and then the Shatter coming in behind. Yeah, there's the freeze, but it doesn't seem to matter. Tanu's found another kill, and it should be a relatively smooth cleanup, and the boop off the cliff. Down goes the Brigida, and down goes the segment. The Revival truly looking like top guys here on map 1.
Yeah, what a great turnaround there, and it really does it really does speak to how this series may well go. PPE Revival, whenever they've been able to play GOATs, they've been winning so far. Admittedly, on Night Market, things were a bit close, but here in Control Center, they were a dominant force to be reckoned with. However, the moment they are forced off of that GOATs comp onto a DPS-heavy composition instead, they were absolutely getting destroyed by the members of OneHP. So this could go really in any direction here.
Now, Mr. Peronius.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I just quickly ran and grabbed my water bottle that I foolishly did not leave on my desk?
By all means. By all means.
I will be right back.
So with that, this is a best of 5 series, I believe, unless I am very much mistaken. Certainly, I'm hoping we're not in for a best of 7, but heading in there, and it, by the looks of it, it will be a 2-map pick. Two-map pick from OneHP, and then PPE Revival will be able to pick the final map that we actually go to. So just now, the team's just reconfirming the rules for the map picks, and they'll get that sorted out. We will, of course, be going over to a brand new map type.
I am back.
Welcome
and that
back.
Was actually terrifying.
Terrifying?
Well, what I forgot is I left my water bottle at the top of the stairs, not the bottom of the stairs.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to turn the light on.
Of course.
They're going up and down stairs in pitch black is kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, up's not so bad because there's only really so much that can go wrong there. But down, there's a very different.
The stairs, you don't really hurt yourself. If you fall down the stairs, it's like oof. But this is this stream is brought to you by Stay Hydrated Bot. It's not actually, but this is my Stay Hydrated memo as I went to get water. Don't forget, stay hydrated while you're enjoying this. Have a drink some water, and be the best hero you can be. Wait a second. That's someone's line. They're not here. Am I allowed to say that, or has Cyberwaste copywritten it yet?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Can you copyright a catchphrase?
I think so.
Yeah, that seems nice. Either ways, we will be going over to our escort map mode for the next one in the series. And it looks like we'll be heading over to Rialto. So the wonderful Italian streets await us. Have you ever been to Italy, Graham?
I have never been. It is incredibly high on my list of countries I want to visit. Greece and Italy are probably numbers 2 and 3 right now behind Australia.
Nice.
Which I might be Australia bound in October.
Yeah, I heard whisperings that you may be coming down for PAX, and
there's the chance.
I believe my immediate thought was, oh man, I'm gonna have to get a PAX ticket.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, so if anyone needs a fantastic duo for PAX or around PAX, Peronius, we'll actually be in the same country. Think about that one.
Yeah, it'd be an incredible experience to be able to do some couch casting as opposed to casting couches, which let's not get into.
I mean, we can do those too.
Oh dear.
We could do either.
Anyways, we will be getting underway here.
Like one of your French girls. All right, we're live. Enough shenaniganery. We do have the pharmacy combo right back out here. Mitochondria on the far, Shiny Hero on the Mercy, trying to cause some havoc, create some problems, but they haven't done it that much so far. Really, it's actually the Sombra and DJ Jeff in the backline causing the most nuisance. As we do get towards the first choke point here, Peronius.
Absolutely, but this is where things will really close down. That's a great hook by Aeon, and that's going to be the end of this push. Very unlikely unless they get a very quick trade back that they're going to be able to do anything but back up here. So OneHP already looking like going to be able to dig their heels in for another 30 seconds or so.
They're trying to find any entrance, but again, this far, it's not finding much. There we go, DJ Jeff on to Batty. That's a massive start, but it doesn't really matter. We're proficient again, taking down Farah like it's his day job, and really at this point in time, It really is his day job because he's doing such a good job at it.
Yeah, both the kills do get rezzed by their respective mercies, so we still have the grind on the corner here. But, ooh, Field comes out from the Baptiste, but it's perhaps a little far back. Now, they're still getting good value from it. There's the EMP from DJ Jeff. That's the opening they need to try and push this one forwards, and definitely having good effect there. There goes Flagor, there goes Void's mech. They'll be able to push this one forwards.
Oh, Eon. I thought he was going to be able to get a third one off of that one, but instead, not quite the case. Now Bob is out here, and he's found that Orisa, and he's going to take out the Pharah too. So big boy Bob brawling his way to victory.
Yeah, and with that 1 HP, again, able to repulse the push, keep things locked down here on the first point of Rialto. That's 2 minutes off the clock, and there's still potential, especially with the cart moving back like this. If they can get it just a bit further back, they may even be able to force an extra fight on the defense if they lose the next one. So this is looking really great for the defense here. Now the attackers, they do have a lot of ultimates coming online, however, and DJ Jeff has gone over to the Widowmaker as well, which means Proficient really has to worry about that. There goes Proficient now, in fact, and this is where the push comes forward.
Oh, and a fantastic anti means Eon and Flagor are in a lot of trouble. But somehow they don't die and Flagor gets the kill there? That's questionable. Incredibly questionable. They thirsted on Eon and it punished them. But Water's Edge on Hanzo is too much to stop. Hitting arrows left, right, center. He's shooting arrows at a target. He's splitting said arrow with another one. He is that accurate right now. And that's being the difference maker in this fight. Flagor is back, trying to stay alive though. Working out pretty well.
Yeah, they invested the supercharger and they got a lot done with it. And once again, we've had the tanks there to really create space for the DPS. The snipers of DJ Jeff and Water's Edge just having to back off. There goes Proficient again, though. It's very hard to be in a sniper's duel against a Widow as Ashe just because of the insta-kill potential. But Fairboy gets the res through there with the help of their Diva, putting the pressure onto DJ Jeff. There goes DJ Jeff, in fact. And with that 1 HP, again, in a good position to hold here. We're heading into last fight territory, and this is still ground out at the first point.
It has been a total stalling, total domination. As down goes Mitochondria. Proficient, yeah, he died once, but he caused them too much difficulty. Bob gets slept. Proficient's got another kill. Finally will fall as DJ Jeff and Water's Edge are doing a lot with the snipers. Problem is when you're on snipers, you're a ways away. How much can you do when you get up close and personal? And Water's Edge will fall as soon as he does get close. A huge anti, but I don't think there's the damage on the field right now to capitalize on it. Void's got 2. And I think surely Peronius, this will be it.
Yeah, I think this has to be it. We do have the last desperate attempt to keep this one alive, but really the theme of this whole offense has been there's been some good opening kills from the members of PPE Revival, but unfortunately they're losing people as well, and the members of 1 HP are able to just grind out these fights, fight back, trade evenly, and then just win on respawn advantage. So all in all, it's just working out that 1 HP, they may be losing their tanks towards the start of this fight or losing key members, but they're getting back to the fight a lot faster than the attackers, and they're able to come back into these late fights, reinforce the numbers, and win them over. So really nice defense there from 1 HP, really showing why they've been the dominant team in this tournament. Because there's so many of those fights. We said that's an early pick onto 1 HP. This is where the push begins. This is where PPE breaks it. And the remaining members of 1 HP are just able to knuckle down, give a little bit of space, give a little bit of ground, and then trade back and make it a really messy fight.
Don't forget, too, now that we are in halfway down our second map, what's on the line here? This isn't just, you know, a regular game. This isn't just a scrim. This isn't just 2 teams just kind of being around for the sake of being around. This is for all the marbles, Peronius. We're at the end of the line.
We are indeed. This is as far as it goes. This is our grand finals of the Ascent season. And both of these teams looking to basically be the best they can be, because it's not that long until we're going to be going to Open Div again. So this is possibly the last chance for these teams to really test themselves in an official match before we're heading over there. Now, unfortunately, the meta for that open div thing is going to be a different meta to this one, so there's only so much it can do. There's still things like communication, teamwork, and working in high-pressure situations. Those skills, it doesn't matter what meta it is, they're always going to be strong. And this is, yeah, the chance for the teams to really test themselves, because scrims at the end of the day are always just scrims, and there's only so much they can do.
And with that, they do try and get all of the 12 feet that are needed to win this second map. That's the name of the game, is can you move it 12 feet? They're already halfway there. They've done it in no time at all, and now they're trying to get it any step further, but Tyler has an opening pick there on to Flagor. He falls. Mitochondria gets proficient as well, and they've managed to stump them at the choke point that stifled them for so very long. And they do it again, though, and again, and again. 3 minutes is how long they need to stifle them. If they can do that, they'll go up 2-0 in this grand finals. That is, of course, the Revival, the self-proclaimed top guys.
100%. And right now, they just have to worry about Eon's Hog there, who's lurking around on the flank, actually proficient on the flank as well. That Bob is ready, so that, no doubt, going to be coming out soon when the opportunity presents itself. Perhaps even after Tanatuba knocks down the next shield. That's when they know there's an opening. Proficient picks up Shiny Hero. That's a great opening. There's the Bob in as well, just to chase off that Diva, but the pressure is being applied from both directions here.
It's a fight on multiple fronts right now, and with Bob in the corner, that causes a lot of problems. Bob is gone, though. At least I think he is, as Tyler and Mitochondria fall. It's starting to look like this might be a one push, but there's a lot to still deal with out on the field. And that Marissa is doing a lot of work. The Bongo helping out too. But now players are falling. The picks are going the way of 1HP. But down goes Proficient. DJ Jeff is back on the field, causing all kinds of trouble. There's a remech Diva. It's going to be D-mech'd in the ad. Water's Edge staying alive as long as she can, but will fall. The stall out is still being attempted here. DJ Jeff trying to cause these problems. There's now a Genji out there too. And they're trying to delay. They're trying to buy as much time as they can. Orisa back out here, but we're getting closer and closer to the wire, Peroni. It's 1:40 left, and they need to move it 3 feet. All the kills are going 1HP's way, and surely it looks like it will be just a moment away. As soon as they kill Water's Edge, they will win map number 2.
What an incredible performance from 1HP. I'm blown away by what they've done for us here on Rialto. They were absolutely dominant. Incredible lockdown defense, the likes of which we haven't seen in quite some time. It used to be super normal for Rialto to just get stopped on the first point, but it's been so long since we've seen that because teams have gotten better at this map. But it seems, at least here, 1HP, that extra cut above, and even though we tried to see a similar defense that they put up from PPE Revival, even though they had a really good stall game, buying time for the respawns to come back through, in the end, all they did was get the team back there to die a second time, and 1HP pushes it through. They will tie up this series, and I think we're going to, as a result of that, be seeing some roster substitutions. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next.
Well, you know, the Revival's namesake are tag team specialists, so it's only natural that we see the Revival Overwatch team tag some players out, tag some players in, and see if they can continue to punch hard at 1HP. They looked so very good on the first map. They looked, well, so very much not so on the second one. Rialto was a little bit of a struggle. But as we go to map 3 is when they decide what that is and who they want to tap in. We'll see whether that changes anything.
Yeah.
It looks like Shiny Hero just disconnected and now he's back. So, well, that was what that was.
That was what that was. Sometimes just needed to try and bring down some of those ping issues. We'll be heading over to Hybrid, I believe.
Ping
is
issues.
The next.
Classic Australia.
Classic Australia, indeed. And as is the rule for Hybrid, the teams will once again pick 2 maps, one of which will be King's Row, and then King's Row will be chosen. So the next map, perhaps unsurprisingly, is King's Row.
Why can't it be Nimbani? Just one of these times. Why can't it be Nimbani?
Now entering King's Row.
I just want a little Nimbani. Is that too much to ask? So, I'm going to go on a rant here quickly while we're in pregame, because speaking of Classic Australia, I found out that y'all are weird.
Really?
Y'all call ketchup tomato sauce, and then you call the tomato sauce that goes on pasta sauce. That's baffling to me. So that was even the worst one. I was complaining about this in a Discord with a bunch of Australians. So of course I'm getting poked fun at because I'm the Canadian here. Y'all call French fries warm chips?
We just hot chips, not warm chips. Hot chips.
What?
Yeah, chips.
That is the weirdest thing. I've literally never heard that. Why don't you just call them French fries?
We just call them chips a lot of the time. The only time we specify hot chips if it's a place that sells like both chips and chips, and then you need some sort of differentiation so people know what you mean by chips.
So why call them both chips?
Because they're both chips.
If I ask for French fries, no one is ever confused. Like, by that, right? It makes sense. What is a French fry? A French fry is, a French fry. What's a chip? It's a potato chip.
I've seen worse.
But French fries are chips made of potato, so they're potato chips.
Yeah, but if you call French fries, you never have to differentiate. When you ask for chips, you always get the chips that you want.
We know what chips we want.
You have to specify hot or cold.
As we will be getting underway here now on King's Row. Looks like both teams are going to be going towards a bunker setup here. So a bit of a different flavor again. But, well, I say different flavor. It is what we saw back on Rialto. Proficient getting an early kill onto Tyler is going to buy some time for this defense as well. 1HP, they look really good on this bunker back on Rialto, and they're going to be trying to sit down and do the same thing here. And yeah, we are going to see the full conversion now as the Goats comes out once again from PPE. But that early hook onto Tyler, that's going to put them into a rough spot.
Yeah, that's a pretty big hindrance to any attempted offense you want to bring in. Revival trying to back away, but they drop Mitochondria in the process. Not a clean escape as I thought they might be able to do. But that does stagger things a little bit by some time. 3 minutes is what's left on the clock, ticking down.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the cleanest escape, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. They got the tanks out, which means they weren't feeding over a huge amount of ult charge to the defenders. And that is the big concern when you're in that position. Now the next push comes through. Tanatuva looking to try and start things out. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, down goes Tanatuva, but they have at least made it to the point this time. That's better than they did before. And now, can they find any of these kills? Eon falling is a massive hindrance to this defense. And the fact that they get the cleanup on the DMX Diva makes this actually workable. Bob, though, out on the field. Proficient falls, but Bob can cause some problems. He is a known nuisance, but he's being mitigated very nicely. Water's Edge falls. Proficient gets res. Can this stop this at all? Can they do anything to delay? Can they do anything to hinder it? It needs to be massive, but the kills are just not there. Did they even notice that Proficient's in behind? He's just taking pot shots for days.
He's taking pot shots, and there's no way they don't know he's there. They just don't care. It's not doing enough damage to get the kills, and there goes Proficient at last. Diva Bomb in, but the bubbles are there from DJ Jeff to keep everyone healthy, and that will be the point flip now. So really well played there by the members of PPE. And that really does show the reason as to why people don't run DPS into Goats and why it became a Goats mirror, is you have these high damage DPS characters sitting up on the high ground and the Goats team just ignores them because they just don't care.
Oh. Now with that, everyone has fallen off of this, fallen away, trying to get back down, and will they be able to come back in? They started to regress down into the road. They've gotten back around the corner here, trying to push back forth, but they're really just running into shields, and now the counter comes through, and here are some ultis being expended. A lot of very healthy players on the Revival coming forth, and a big time Shatter comes down, actually gets a kill outright onto Eon. Flagor is going to fall as well, and the defense starting to crumble. They're starting to fall away, starting to fall down, especially as Void gets DMX'd and slept. That's going to be a big stagger. Actually, they choose not to, but look where Feebai is. Feebai is alone in behind. That is literally the definition of living on an island.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can get back to his team from there. Most importantly, he's not there to speed boost them in either, which could definitely work against it, but the team is there ready for that one last contest here on this third point. A lot of ultimates online for the offense, so here comes the Diva Bomb over the top.
Oh, and that gets Proficient. There's proficient fall there. I'm a little bit surprised by that one. Bubble wasn't up in time, and now the Graviton comes through, and all of these players are caught. It's an absolute mulching. And really, Void up top should be caught any minute now.
Yeah, just sitting on just the right spot to contest the cart there and buy that little bit of extra time until the offense can clean him off. Not even fighting back, just being a nuisance there, but it's still setting a really good time here, the members of PPE Revival are. They make their way into the final stage of King's Row. The ultimate's finally coming online for the defense, so a chance to turn the tide.
Oh, big time Shatter, but doesn't actually land. Shatter is whiffed. Both of them actually get eaten. So they are trying to brawl out without him. Graviton down. Diva Bomb over the top. It's going to get in on the supports, but the bubble is flawless there. Except Shiny ultimately does fall, but still, that was very nicely done to try and keep the players alive. Add respect to the Zarya DJ Jeff.
Yeah, that is definitely going to turn things around there. Now, it's, again, not too long until the next ultimate rotation for the attackers comes online. But the defense, they've now got both support ultimates online as well. So DJ Jeff's grab is probably not going to have a huge effect simply because the support ultimates are there to counter it out. They need to be able to try and build up Flagor's Shatter and try and knock some people down so that they can't use it. But Febai playing Brubers and that gets eaten by Void. That's a disaster.
Oh, but the Shatter, that doesn't get eaten, and 5 players get knocked off their feet. Problem is, the kills aren't there, and the 5 players get knocked down the other way. And no kills. Febai falls, Flagor down too, and this is starting to look like the one push by the Revival. Trying to get out, finding these kills. Void in trouble. D-Max, but the bubble is good, keeping Void alive. Can Void actually get a mech out of this? It's gonna be still very close. It does. Void hopping right back in the Diva mech.
Interesting decision there. It is buying a lot of time, but it's also feeding over a lot of ultimates. You know this fight is lost. I don't know if remaking there is the right play, because now they're going to have to wait even longer for that spawn. They really are going to have one fight left here, and the attackers have been able to build 600 more hit points worth of ult charge coming into this final fight. So perhaps a questionable move that will come back to bite them, but we'll see how that goes. Diva Bomb over the top.
Oh, and down goes Bad. Tanu's also going to fall on the backs of it, though, so Diva Bomb's finding a kill each. I will think that the Zenyatta is a little bit more impactful, though, to me. However, they decide to fall off without the Ryan. But they maybe could win that.
It's
I guess
hard.
with a quick spawn.
It is hard with the quick spawn and not having the Ryan there, especially in this Goats v Goats matchup. The Reinhardt is half your damage, with the other half being the Zarya. So without that damage from the hammer swing, without the protection, oh no, another grab eaten by Void. That is 2 for 2 now. DJ Jeff not having a great time here, but the Transcendence is in just to keep everyone up.
Oh man, Void, if they manage to hold this, hats off to him. 2 grabs eaten is like everything and then some that you can ask for your Diva. That's almost flawless as Flagor pops off, grabs trio.
Yeah, the reset coming through. There's going to be one more chance now for the attackers to break this one through. But the defense, their ultimate rotation is coming through. Bad has got the Transcendence in the pocket, and they're going to have all 3 tank ultimates. Whereas the attackers, they do not have a lot of tools in the kit. Shiny Hero is going to have the sound barrier, and they're probably going to be able to get the Shatter online. So that's all they've got. Flagor opens it up with a Shatter, not able to land it, and there's Shiny Hero in with that. Now the ult's coming out.
Oh, the Diva Bomb doesn't find anything. Flagor again with a 2K proficient with 2 himself. And this is just looking like it's going to be a stonewalling. They get it close, but no cigar, as it will appear to be the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Overtime is bought, and that's a great shatter there from Tanatuva as they try and fight this one back. The Mitochondria already gone down. Shiny does get the pick under the buy, but this is looking like an overfight of heroic last effort, but just not enough to be able to overcome that. And with that, well, that's going to be the hold there from OneHP. Still a very winnable position to be in. And just a bit of behind the scenes thing from there. Flagor is actually giving some mad props to Tanatuva for his Reinhardt play. Perhaps many would expect Flagor to be the superior one in this battle, but he's freely admitting that Tanatuva is outplaying him right now and giving mad props there. So it's great to see this sort of sportsmanship. A lot of the time, we can't really read out what the players are saying to each other in the lobby because, well, if you're involved in the scene, you know what they're like. But some great sportsmanship here tonight, so it's good to see.
See, I'll be honest, I don't like that. I like the good sportsmanship. I don't like giving props like that mid-series in a team. Like, yeah, you stonewalled them. Yeah, they can't be feel like they still get to feel pretty good about how far they got it. And then at the same time, you're giving one of their players who's playing pretty well, Tanatuva, props and kind of praising his play. You're making him feel better about an already good performance. I don't know if I like that. I don't like anything that can like be a morale boost to the team that you're trying to beat.
Yeah, it's probably something to stick to the end of the match, but
yeah,
still,
exactly.
I mean,
at the end of it, if you give them props, if you like compliment them, then fantastic. It doesn't have any impact on the series. Sometimes that little bit of added confidence, that little bit of reassurance, can actually be enough to get some players to take a great performance, like a good performance, to a transcendent great performance.
Well, we'll see how this one goes. As once again, we will this time be coming out on the Goat's mirror. Player just getting right in there and going down almost immediately as a result of it. Youch. That's going to be a good first defense for the members of PPE Revival. That'll give them a chance to build some ultimates up as well. Tyler has gotten a lot done towards that first Transcendence, and getting that online before Proficient Scrab is going to be absolutely crucial.
Find any of these kills as they start to move in. Tanatuva's right up front there, and it's actually a double Rhine trade. Sligor and Tanatuva fall both almost instantly in that engagement. And now what can the rest of the spare parts do? Can they find any of these kills? Can they find anything to try and open this up? There's the Graviton coming through. 3 caught in it, and Mitochondria does fall. So this is looking a little bit better for the offense, especially as their spawners should be in here momentarily. Brian is there. Diva Bomb up above. Doesn't find anything. Now can it turn around and find it? Diva Bomb the other way. Pop stops. Not able to find anything. Both of these teams absolutely brawling it out. Yes, they managed to find a tick though, and Tanatuva falls again. Flagror also falls again. This is literally a mirror of these two fights here, Peronius. But finally, Phoebe falling might be a different stroke.
Might be a different stroke, but DJ Jeff going down is probably the current, but there goes Proficient. So again, the team's trading pretty evenly here. Now the Divas just sort of strafing each other. Both the Reinhardts making their ways back into the fight. Void's just been demexed, and so that finally an upper hand for the defense. And with Phoebe going down as well, the retreat order has been called. Flagor's trying to back up safely and manage it as well. So 2 minutes off the clock here, and 1 tick on the point. But here comes the reaggress. That's a great shatter.
Trying to find anything they can, trying to find any opening, any window. They managed to push them back a little ways, which means this is going to start to grind towards a second tick, and another kill onto Tanatuva. They've been able to find that kill pretty nicely off the opening, but has trouble keeping Flagor alive. This time, though, Flagor turns around, finds one onto Mitochondria, and this might finally be the first point falling.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be it, and with that, well, a big opportunity to get the snowball going. They've got a couple of ultimates online. They've got the dreaded Bigger Bang combo, the Grav Diva Bomb. Definitely could be an opportunity to drop that and win the next fight as well. But the defense, quite a few ultimates online, and an early kill onto Phoebe is going to actually really allow them to get aggressive on this defense.
Yeah, defense is already right up in front of them, in their face. Going to be something that can be broken, though. That's always the risk. Sometimes if you sell out really early, you're not able to kind of set up the way you like. And now with Gravis coming in unison, they were actually synced up. The defense has entrenched itself, and they found all the kills.
All the kills indeed. Stereo Gravs coming out, but it is the members of PPE Revival that turn out the better end of that trade. And they've still got the Diva Bomb online to boot, so they're doing, not only have they just won that fight, but they're looking a lot better in terms of ult economy as well. Flagor is going to have the Shatter online soon. That is perhaps the big edge if he's able to make sure that Tyler gets slammed down. But they're going in with it. Here we go.
Oh, the bomb, though, it doesn't actually find any. Negated pretty heavily, but and again, the Shatter also doesn't find anything. So this isn't working out really well for either team. Tanatuba falling gives a window here for 1HP to continue to grind for. Trying to step in there, find anything that they can as they move forward. They've got some good spacing, but they've actually been kind of wrapped around a little bit here. This is but they are going to find a couple more kills. Tyler down as well as DJ Jeff. They should be able to clean up with the relative ease these remaining players, and they'll be able to keep grinding forward.
Yeah, as soon as they lost Tanatuba, the members of PPE Revival there, they knew that fight was lost, but half the team manages to wrap around and just park on the payload. So while the tanks are charging through the back line and getting those kills there, the payload's not moving in the slightest. Bring the team all the way back to clean up the payload just to get the progress there. So that's going to buy some key seconds off the clock there. Really smart play. Tanatuba comes in with an aggressive shatter. Does not manage to get anything from it, but here we go with the bomb.
Again, bomb not finding any kills. Well, does do some good damage. They find really anything else out here on the field. Graviton going down. Players pinned on the corner though, and not being able to be found here. Being dispelled from their positioning. Yes, that caused a bit of a problem, and now Tanatuba will fall in the shatter. 4 of them caught in it. That's a very big start for this. Can they find the kills to follow up? You better believe it as Mitochondria goes down.
Yeah, Mitochondria goes down. There goes Water Edge's mech as well, and it will just be cleanup on the payload. That should be the point B capture at this point. And the members of PPE Revival going to be setting up for their final hold. Yeah, they're not going to try and contest that. They know they can't get there in time, and it would just be staggering in. And so 2.5 minutes is the time set. That is how long PPE Revival need to hold this one off if they want to walk away the victors here on Kings Row. It's definitely doable, but 1HP have been looking very good.
Tanatuba needs to not be the first casualty in this engagement, and then he's actually going to be Flagor to be the first one to fall. So that is a really good job of stunting it. Now they are going to try and condense on these players. Penned in, 3 of them are trapped. 4 of them actually. Now it's just a matter of time before they all fall. Tanatuba's the first one to go, and they find a second. In fact, they do. Mitochondria falling. Shiny Hero as well. As 1 HP, they continue to grind these engagements out. So nice. Gonna be so many players dead. Just a couple spawners up now.
Yeah, we're getting into last fight territory, and Tyler at risk of getting staggered out. The Brigida getting there just in time. Exactly what was needed, but we're heading into this final fight. DJ Jeff is going to need to have a huge grab here because this is the big tool that will swing the fight in their favor. They need to win it, otherwise they're going down. There's the grab in. Fatai's already down. This is looking good.
Oh yeah, this is a really great start for this fight, finding these kills. It's going to completely stunt the push, and Void has to jump off a cliff. So one downside to this this one segment here is you do have cliffs that you can jump off, so it's harder to stagger players out.
Oh yeah, as soon as Fabai went down and then the grab was committed, 1HP didn't even put up a fight. They had the Transcendence there, they could have committed it. They went, no, we don't need it. We'll come in next fight with all the ultimates. This is the dangerous one. We're down to last fight territory. They probably won't have time for another one, but they have so many ults online. Mitochondria already down.
The Gravity here, though, will it find anything? Deepo Bomb out on the field as well, but everyone has fallen. That's a big time 4K. Flagor with 2 on him, Proficient chiming in with the others. And that will pretty much be all she wrote. I don't think anyone can delay. There is actually Doomfist getting out there in the nick of time. It's time for the Hammond and a few more players to stagger in, try and hold it off, but they're not able to do it really. Not really being able to find any of these kills. They're just there.
Oh, that could do it. It's a huge slam by Tanatuba. He gets taken out immediately though, and there's no follow through from it. However, there goes Eon off the edge from that wrecking ball. Mitochondria has finally gone down, as has Tyler, but the respawns are coming back through. This is still anyone's fight. The attackers are getting the better kills, but the defense are still getting some trade backs, and with that faster spawn, that may be all that's needed. But now there's no one near the... No, DJ Jeff is still on that payload. So close, yet so far, and that grab just in range. They're still able to select the payload, but that is going to be it. 1 HP finally get it across the line. They will pick up Kings Row, but it was so close there at the end.
Yeah, the real problem is with this game is when you try and throw that many players in to stagger, and it's staggered and staggered and staggered. You never have your full team there to try and win that engagement. And that really just came down to the issue is that 1HP just had too many players for too much of the time contributing damage. And you should win a 4v3 or a 5v2 most of the time, even if it takes a little bit longer to get the kills. Yeah, it delayed, but they still wound up getting all the kills. They didn't let the entire team make it back in, so they pretty much had the advantage through most of that.
Yeah, definitely. That said, good attempt from Revival. They swapped to those instant pick heroes that can have that sort of dynamic playmaking. And between the boop off the edge from the Wrecking Ball and being punched into a wall from that Doomfist, they picked up a couple despite them being 1v6 and 2v5 sort of fights. They were able to get some trades in there, buy some time, and maybe swing it back. If they'd been able to keep that momentum up, getting one here, one there, even if they are still dying in the process, eventually the respawn advantage comes through in their favor, but it's not to be, and OneHP are able to close out King's Row. With that, we'll be heading over to our Assault game mode next, and I believe we are sitting now at match point as well. If OneHP are able to pick that one up, they will have won the series.
Indeed, all to play for as we head to what could be the final map. This is, of course, a best of 5, so it's not necessarily done yet. There's still time. Gives an opportunity for the Revival to even things up. Force a 5th and final map.
And yeah, just teams just clarifying the rules that it is indeed a best of 5.
I was pretty sure when someone said best of 7. No one told me that.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was a best of 7. I know we have used those for finals before, but I think everyone has more or less unanimously agreed that best of 7s are just entirely too long.
Yeah, I can feel that. Sometimes they just like, yeah, they can be close, but the other thing is like when it draws on that long, you're just like, am I awake for the last map? You know what I mean?
If you've ever had a best of 7 that's gone to its 8th map, and I've had that, you'll know that best of 7s can go wrong.
Yeah, sometimes when you're doing that, you just wish you could be like, hey, so we're gonna do the first 4 maps, and if we need more maps after that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna like take a 30-minute break, let everyone have a nap, like come back in an hour or something. I don't know. So I'm glad that we're not doing best of 7. Best of 5 is, in my opinion, the best for this game.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
I don't like best of 5s for Counter-Strike for the same reason I don't like best of 7s in Overwatch.
Yeah, because it drags on too much. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And it's almost more accentuated in Counter-Strike as well, because you get the situation where it's like, if teams don't have as deep map pools, like if you're doing a best of 5 for a lower tier event where teams maybe are only good on 2-3 maps, and if they don't line up, it's like 16-1, 16-1, 16-13, 16. Like you only get like 3 maybe good maps out of it anyways, because it could come down that like teams just have to play maps they don't play.
Yeah,
unfortunately that's not as big an issue in Overwatch because everyone plays everything, but
100%. I said teams do definitely practice certain map pools more than others, but this season of Ascent there hasn't been any sort of restrictions on map pools, so not really any opportunity to focus in on stuff. We're heading over to the Temple of Anubis as our next map, and once again we are going to have OneHP on defense as the blue team here, looking to try and shut out their opponent of PPE Revival and bring an end to this series. PPE Revival.
Oh my god, Mitochondria dies?
Mitochondria dies. It's an early pick there from the Ash. Getting a shot and that dynamite early on can do that, but it's not something you'd expect, and certainly caught Mitochondria by surprise there as well. Just going to buy a little bit of time off the clock and get proficient that extra step closer to that first bomb.
Well, Tanatuba does fall. Down goes Mitochondria again, so the hold is looking pretty good. Flagrant in a lot of trouble, though, is going to fall at the end of the day to Water's Edge. Demexed and should be staggered pretty late, but it's a pick nonetheless.
That's a good boop there from Shiny Hero. The res was attempted by Fabai, trying to bring Flagor back because that's going to be a long run back on that Orisa. And the Lucio, even as they get taken out for it, able to get the boop there, disrupt the res, means there's going to be a real opportunity on this next push because the defense is not going to be set up how they want. Look at all the space that they've now got because that res didn't go through.
Proficient actually falls to Mitochondria in the back lines as well. Took a lot of damage from an Ana, and that leaves Mitochondria more space. Finds a kill to Flagor. This is massive for the Revival. 2 big kills. Flagor is going to be rezzed, but the Diva Bomb comes out. Doesn't actually get Void there. I was surprised that actually was the other Diva Bomb. That would be why I'm misreading things. But still, these kills coming out. Mitochondria doing so much work.
Yeah, Mitochondria really trying to get the hack and slash going with that sword. And it looks like the offense should be able to grind this one out, but a bit of a tough one there. They're actually having to invest the Diva Bomb just to guarantee this fight, but it is just Fabai left now. And Proficient actually has made it back in on that McCree as well. Yeah, Fabai just getting aggressive now, just trying to... And I think Fabai knows they can't get out of that one safely, and so just going to get a little bit of ult charge there off the back of it, make them spend it in there. But now there's a real opportunity to snowball this. And there's the EMP.
Oh, trying to find out this point. They're going to be able to find the DMAC on the Void as well. So looking good to start things off. Mission with the Deadeye, is it going to connect? No, it doesn't. It's everything.
Did get Water's Edge mech, but definitely not what you're looking for with that one. Still, that's a successful defense nonetheless. A lot of space being created from that Deadeye, even if the kills weren't there. Just forced a lot of people to back up from that one, and that's the end of the stagger onto Water's Edge as well. So now we're moving over here. I think Flagor's still going to be sticking on this Orisa, looks like, which is an interesting choice for the second point. A lot of times teams don't really want to be running Orisa on Anubis second, and will usually go over to Reinhardt instead, just because there's so many different angles that they can come from, and the Orisa shield, once it's on cooldown, it's on cooldown.
They are back in. DJ Jeff though is Genji's here. Dragon Blade out. Will it connect on anything? It does find bad, but quickly taken down by Void. Find some kills. Still back and forth. Done a better job of getting some kills onto this offense. Being stunted, and Proficient on McCree still doing all this work.
Yeah, Proficient is definitely putting the team on their back right now. Getting so much damage from that McCree. There's another one. Stagger onto DJ Jeff as well. Just really, I've already built another Deadeye. We're going to expect to see that every second fight at the very least at the rate that Proficient is popping off with this one. But DJ Jeff has another EMP online, so there's a big opportunity to go for like a EMP Diva Bomb play, and that could be absolutely devastating.
Beacon in place.
Any entrance is what they need to find. They've got the Sombra that has the big time hack. Can it land? Gets in there. There's the hack. Not to catch as many as I thought it was going to. That might be a problem.
Deadeye though.
Will it catch enough? The problem is they're not really finding any of these kills on the back of it. Tyler falling means the offense is still in trouble. And I think that hack, even though it did disrupt the Deadeye, isn't going to be able to have done enough. And the team's cleanup just isn't there in behind it.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. This is another sort of scuffed attack coming through. The defense still has a lot of resources now as well. They've got both the amplification matrix and the supercharger online for the next push. And both of those very dangerous, especially on this map with all these narrow chokes. Providing a lot of extra damage to this really tank-heavy lineup. And, oh, DJ Jeff staggered out again. There's a lot of CC to worry about for that Sombra, and they're really feeling it. But there is going to be another EMP online. There goes Proficient though. They may not even need it.
Oh yeah, with the McCree down, that does give them a window. But can they take that cracked window and open it wide? Try and dive onto this point. The hack is down as well. This time it catches 4. And that might just be the difference maker in this engagement. Feebite down, Flagor as well. And the Revival are finding these openings. They just need to get Eon. He is anti. That'll do it. They've gotten a tick. Can they get a second one? It should be clean too. Will they be able to get 3? I don't even think the spawns can get there. The boot back does it. And there we have it. Capped all the way through by the Revival.
And there's the win condition coming through. They call this composition the hack and slash for a reason. That EMP into Genji Blade can be absolutely devastating. And then the Nano goes on the Genji for good measure as well. Very few things able to survive that as long as the Genji is executing those strikes. And execution is a fitting term for how that fight. But only 1 minute 10 seconds left on the clock means it was not the fastest clear of Anubis. We've definitely an opportunity to bring this one back from the members of OneHP. If they're able to get a good offense through here and send it into the time bank rounds with a much bigger time bank, they can still be in a great position here to close out this series.
I'm curious to see what they go for in terms of composition for the offense. Well, it's been pretty standard. Nothing special.
Yeah, that's about what they've been playing, yeah.
I was always wondering, like, get the opportunity. Some maps are a little bit different. They might try and change things up. Like, I'd be tempted to see Proficient on McCree more just because I feel like he's popped off when he's played it.
Well, he's doing well on the second point, and I think if they do need to swap up the comp when they go to second, he probably will reprise the McCree there because it's a bit more close and personal. But here on Anubis first, there's such long-range sight lines that it's hard to get McCree into a position where he can do that heavy damage
yeah, that's true.
before he's already dead. So it definitely makes sense to not open with it, but I think they potentially, if they want to swap things up on second, we could see it come out yet.
I guess it depends on how well they do a job of disrupting the initial hold, because once it's disrupted, then you get up and close, and then the McCree can do work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it does, I guess, makes sense to try and bust her, but
Cool.
Speaking of trying to bust things, he's kind of busted a wide open Void as well. That's not how you dispel them on point one.
No, I mean, Flagor, they're taking their headshot mid-air. They were dead before they even landed the jump, but that's what two snipers will do for you if you are the
Look at Void.
Yeah, Void is just getting really staggered out here. They're showing no intention. They do finally pick up the kill there. That's going to buy so much time as well, because the offense knows they cannot move in without that D.Va, and it looks like we're seeing a bit of an adaptation coming through. They're going to the flying go, so this is going to be a bit of a media setup to try and punch through here. Definitely in response to the double snipers that we've been seeing from PPE Ascent.
Try and walk in 1 HP, trying to find that space, trying to find the opening. These snipers are still pushing them back a little bit, especially with Orisa pulling them dead center. That sniper shot did a lot of good damage there on the Void. Ooh. As they do engage, get forth, and Water's Edge actually going to negate that. All done there.
Yeah, that Dragon Strike not going anywhere, but the fight is still underway. Nano Boost committed onto the Hanzo just to help build up another ultimate. And, well, already getting halfway there to the next one. We have the rotation back to the point from the members of PPE, and still a very winnable fight for them.
Oh, but so much damage done by these snipers. It's caused all these problems. Void again being staggered very deep in behind. Unlike King's Row, where you have pits to just jump into, Void is all kinds of alone with nowhere to go. Finally falls. And that forces the remaining players back into Eon. Going down super late to DJ Jeff on a lovely headshot off the Widowmaker.
Yeah, it's a heck of a parting shot, that's for sure, and it's going to buy yet more time off this clock. Starting to get down to maybe only having 2 fights left here, and ultimates starting to come online for the offense, but still a lot of defensive tools here. Here comes the front.
The Rage is fourth, but Mitochondria is going to fall. Eon with a nice pick there. Flagor, this is it. They've finally found their openings. They've finally beaten down everything. There's just a couple players left alive. It's Water's Edge on the D.Va. D-Mech and cleaned up. There we go. Point one coming down, but look at the time left.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get a lot of...
much of a window.
They did not. They're going to get a lot of... You know, they're going to get a big investment into their time bank here, but they don't have the ultimates they want for a snowball. And that's the key thing. The defenders, they're going to have to swap their composition going over to their own GOATS composition, although they are going to be running the Baptiste there rather than running something like an Anna or a Zen. So an interesting choice there. But yeah, the attackers, they've had to commit ultimates to get that first points. They don't really have the snowball potential here. nothing coming from that Diva Bomb.
Yeah, only 3.5 minutes to try and pull this off. They're up against the wall, but they found could stop there, but Anatuba has gone down. Will they find any more of these 1 HP players? Trying to find anything they can, but it's Be by Flagor doing a lot of work, and all of a sudden, despite the time on the clock, it doesn't seem to matter. They're finding so many of these kills. The Revival trying to stall out. They've done a good job. They haven't even given up a single tick in this engagement. They try and get the cap. These players are back on the point. There's even a Reaper out on the field. DJ Jeff, that will be cleaned up. That will be removed. But can they find anything else? Still, not barely any cap time done, even on this first tick. That's the kind of delay that we're talking about here, Peroni. It's so phenomenal.
It's a big shatter coming through there from Tanatuva, and that's going to be a big change in the momentum of this fight. Bad has been slowed into a wall as well. Flagor does get Tanatuva down, and that bomb is going to buy a lot of space. So maybe now, finally, a tick of progress going through. And the grab in there onto Tyler and DJ Jeff is really dangerous as well. Mitochondria is over on the Farah, dropping rockets down onto it, but they're not able to get down and contest the point, and there goes Mitochondria now as well. It looks like 1HP finally getting some progress on this one, and we're getting into desperation territory for the defense.
At the same time, like, they are dwindling the time bank, and even if they have conceded the point, which they haven't yet, the fact that they keep grinding the time bank down is so pivotal. Keep in mind, this started looking good at like 350 left on the clock. We're down to 150. We're almost down to even, in fact, on the clock. So very nice job by the Revival. They're actually finding some of these kills, like Flagor falling.
Yeah, Flagor falls, and there's a big shatter from Tanatuva, sadly not catching everyone, and so the remaining members are able to put pressure onto that run. But this is still, the defensive respawns are so strong here. They come through so closely. And we've had that Reinhardt there to be the main tank for the team. Flagor's actually coming back on the wrecking ball just to get back to this fight in time. The kills still coming through for the members of 1HP. Tanatuva getting a lot of damage in there with the hammer swings, not able to close anything out. DJ just getting stunned up mid-death block, and Bad continues to go ham on this Doomfist. Bad, need I remind you, is a support player, but he has been carrying this fight for the offense for the last several minutes. There goes another one as well.
Like, at the end of the day, they're finding these kills though. DJ Jeff with one, Tanatuba with another, and after all of that, Peroni, when it looked like it was a sure thing, it looked like they had it in the bag. They managed to pull it back, the Revival, from the brink of death, and they don't even give up that second tick.
2 CP, by the way.
Jeez, man. This is phenomenal run back by the Revival. Just throwing stuff against the wall, hoping that it sticks, and it stuck well. And now we're down to 25 seconds for 1HP to try and win this out.
Yeah, they got one last chance to make this happen, and realistically, even if they do, it's probably going to be an overtime. If they want to try and win this map, and they need it to be faster than that. But the early kills are not in their favor, and now the Death Blossom out from DJ Jeff as well. This is looking like a disaster.
Void finds the kill on the Tyler. That's going to buy them a little bit of time, but Void quickly demech. Not really able to find anything else. The kills are going the way of the defense. The Revival are looking so good, trying to force out a 5th and final map of this series. This is the grand finals. It's all on the line. Flagor coming in. No one is close. No one can do it. That's going to be it. We're going to map number 5.
We're going to map 5, and what an incredible series this has been. PPE really coming back on that. It really shows the no surrender attitude that these players need to have, because that stall was so huge. It went on for so long, and 1HP just not able to get the decisive advantage that allows them to clean it all up. And thankfully, we're not going to be going to another assault map mode, so they don't have to worry about that again, but we'll be going over to control. And if you remember back to the start of the series, PPE Revival looked really good on control.
Oh yeah, they looked phenomenal. Yeah, they dropped the segment. That wasn't particularly smooth. I think it was 100 to 0. In fact, it was.
Yeah.
But also, again, the resilience, because we noted there in that one, that was a very long stall. They did a good job kind of grinding it back. Their resilience showed. Burned 3 minutes off the clock, and all of a sudden somehow managed to pull it out. And that resilience was on display in that first control map where, yeah, they dropped a segment 100-0, but they turned around and won the next one 100-0 themselves. So it's that kind of resilience that you need when it comes to control and a best of 5. If you drop a map and don't have it go your way, well, it's all about how you respond, how you bounce back. So conversely, I'm curious to see how OneHP managed to bounce back from this one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, both these teams have shown incredible resilience all throughout this. It has been a hard-fought series, and one that perhaps a lot of people thought was going to be a much more one-sided. So it's great to see such a tight series here. We're just awaiting on the map selections to be made, and it looks like we'll be heading to Ilios as our final map. So once again, the sands of Greece will be our final throwdown here.
It's just an absolutely beautiful map, so it's only fitting that we get to look at the beautiful weather, the beautiful skylines, and a beautiful finish, hopefully, to this series.
Yeah, well, this obviously it was PPE Revival that got to pick the specific map we're going to, and Ilios was where they were able to finish out their series last week in a hotly contested semi-final. So this is definitely home turf for PPE Revival, and they've got to be feeling comfortable coming in. OneHP, the pressure is mounting. They have been the undefeated behemoths in this tournament for so long. You can't give it up here now, surely, at the finish line. Can you?
I mean, it's no matter what way this goes, this is heartbreak. If you fight for as long as we've been here, we're into the hour 20-minute mark of this series. That's a long time to be grinding out at a high level, not making mistakes, because if you make, like, any mental errors that you get are amplified in a grand final like this. These teams are so good and so able to punish any mistake like that. So you have to be on your A game, and that really starts to grind on you as we head into map.
100%. The endurance slog that this becomes is absolutely real. And that is perhaps where PPE Revival have the edge, because OneHP, they've been winning 3-0 all series. They haven't had to test their endurance game. Whereas, obviously, PPE Revival had a map 5 just to get here. So we've definitely seen they can. But we'll see how this goes as we make our way over to Well. Opening shields, both shattering very quickly, but Void picking up Shiny very early on is a great start.
Yeah, phenomenal opener. Matter is how do you follow it up? Boys alive, needs to find the next kill. That next one will be so very pivotal. The hook does not land, and a big time anti opens things up as Tenatuba goes. They should be able to find a few more off the back of this. Mitochondria and Tyler do fall, and that will be it for the opening engagement. A big time opener from OneHP.
Yeah, big opener from OneHP and a big anti from Bad. There's been some really great bite grenades coming through all game, and that one absolutely signals the go button for the team. Aeon and the Genji really able to get in and punish those when it goes through. So some really great team play there, and that's going to see some early control coming through. And, well, we've seen some adaptations come through from them as a PPE Revival in response. They've gone over to a classic dive comp.
It's an interesting move here, and I'm honestly excited to see how it pays off. Eon falling. Again, good opener. DJ Jack coming right in on the Tracer. Finds a nice set of kills.
I said the kills and the point flip. The dive composition working really well. This is sort of there to punish the sort of multi-DPS composition we're seeing out of the members of OneHP. Able to just jump on those isolated DPS targets and kill them really quickly with that fast time to kill that dive was always known for. So a really nice counter pick there. And we'll have to see if there's any adaptations coming out. I think because of all the ultimates online, we're probably not going to see any swaps as of yet. But maybe after those, we see some adaptations come through. I don't know. This next fight, we're expecting the ending.
Mitochondria trying to find these kills. Actually, Eon with it, with the Dragon Blade, finding a pair, Tanatuva and Tyler fall. So they are going to be able to, or at least should be able to, wrench control of this. So yeah, they are finding the remaining kills, closing her up. 50% though is gained before this even flips. Just stop it. Stalls out a little bit longer by DJ Jeff, and Mitochondria is even they're re-engaging on this fight. Tenatuba finally falls. Again, Mitochondria will ultimately go down. But that little dive there at the end bought them another chunk of percentage, all the way up to 63.
63%, and they are once again so now, and we do actually see some swaps coming through from the members of OneHP. Eon going over to the Doomfist to try and, I suppose, counter dive that dive and punch some of those targets into walls. And Fabai going over to the Brig as well. So definitely some adaptations. Here comes the Nanoblade.
Oh, and the Blade doing work. Mitochondria grabbing two. Bob out on the field. I don't know how much that's gonna help. It's just, and he's delaying things as well. Like he's there, but that'll be it. Finally, it's capped over. Bob actually buys up to 76% now.
76% on the clock. Well, with knowing how long these fights are at well because of the size of the point, we're probably heading into what is potentially last fight territory if OneHP aren't able to get the purchase, but an early pick onto DJ Jeff, big opportunity here now for OneHP. Ooh!
Oh my!
That's huge.
Absolute mammoth pick, and now Water's Edge falling as well. Even though the Revival are going to be up at 99 as it flips. They've already fallen. It's going to go the other way. See if they can do this. The real question is can they screw up this hold? Only 18% needs to be grabbed. It's down to 16 as we start to see the players start to funnel towards this point. Initial dive is going to come in. That'll happen with about 10 left on the clock. But it's going to be the Doomfist getting up and behind. But Eon, that might be an overextension. If Eon gets caught here, that could be a huge pick. It looks like Eon's going to be okay for the time being. And now we're up to 99 on both sides. The player goes down. That is Eon. Tenatuba on the other side is also fall.
Comes the Nanoblade in from Mitochondria, trying to turn this fight back. The kills overwhelming against it, but that is a Nanobladed Genji. If anyone can get a huge amount of kills, it is that. And this is still anyone's fight here. We have a scrappy fight. There's the hook onto Mitochondria. Void will get the kill there, and Proficient still alive as well. There's the remake now onto Water's Edge, and Primal Rage being committed by Tenatuba. Neither side willing to give this one as of yet, and Water's Edge demexed now as well. There goes Void into the hole. Tenatuba getting so much done on this Primal Winston, but Plager has made it back on the Wrecking Ball, and Proficient still alive and at large. There's the Deadeye being committed now. The point almost ends up ticking away with that overtime bar, but the touch is back there nonetheless. It was almost a C9 from the members here of PPE Revival, but this fight still going on. Both players getting reinforcements in, both teams getting reinforcements in here, and the kill's still going either way, but now OneHP starting to pick up momentum here in this fight. Eon picking up 2 in quick succession, and this is looking really, really good, Graham.
Yeah, this is looking huge for OneHP. The Meteor Strike does not connect, and the stall has been okay. DJ Jeff finally does fall. Tyler trying to delay as long as he can as the reinforcements once again are back on the field. They're trying to grind it through, but Tyler and Tenatuba falling instantly should just about do it. Down goes Water's Edge. 2 more spawners have arrived, but I'm pretty sure, Peronius, we're going to see OneHP take segment number 1.
Whoa, that. I mean, we have seen some impressive back and forth team fights from this team, but that was a hell of a fight. And you know what the best part is, Graham?
We get to watch another fight?
We go again.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Like, I'll be honest with you, I am so not ready for the series to be over. It could be over after this segment. That's kind of what we're looking at. Not ready for that, Peronius. I'm not ready. I know we just literally like a map ago, we're kind of dumping on best of 7. I don't see kill for this to go best of 7 because this series has been so good, so back and forth, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to see the Revival come out and steal a victory on this second segment and force us to the bitter end.
Yeah, an interesting rollout here from both these teams. OneHP, just on compositions alone, probably have the edge here. They've predicted another dive-based composition coming out, and they've brought a counter comp in for it. Tanatuva is going to go down super early as a result for that. We're immediately going to see some swaps coming through from the members of Revival, but the early point is going to get picked up by 1HP here.
There is a big advantage, of course. As soon as you get the first cap, the odds actually swing quite heavily in your favor. This is looking very, very good for 1HP. It's not dire yet, but they need to do something big here. They need to find a big response. And it looks like they are swapping over to the Moira on Tyler.
Yeah, they've gone over to the classic Goats composition. They have looked really good on this, and this again does give them a bit of a counter comp here against what is being run. But there's the Deadeye in from Proficient already. Going to see the tanks make their way onto the point. Everyone denying line of sight to that McCree. And Shiny Hero going down early is not a good start.
Oh yeah, this is backfiring instantly. Yes, the Goats look like the right call. Very clearly though, as they get on this point, not the right one at all. It's just Shiny Hero. And I think he actually just spawned. I don't see him anywhere. Yes, he is way off in the distance. So that was essentially a team kill.
Team kill and 50% on the clock. Not a lot of time remaining. The members of PPE Revival not yet in this game. Meanwhile, a lot of ultimates online for the members of 1HP, including Proficient almost having another Deadeye online. And there comes the bomb through there. Mitochondria going down early is not a good... Ooh. Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, Parodius, I'm no legal expert, but I'm pretty sure that that is illegal in all 50 states, along with most countries in the world, including Canada and Australia, because that was gruesome.
That was gruesome, but it was quick, and that was the mercy. The Tanatuva and Shiny going down early is a disaster. After such a close fight here, it's looking like 1HP will end this with 100-0 shutout.
The stone wall is up. The gate says do not enter. The Revival will not be allowed. And 1HP are your Ascent champions.
Just such an incredible read from the members of 1HP. They come out on Lighthouse. They counterpick the enemy composition. They know what they're going to be seeing from the members of PPE Revival. They use that to win the first fight. And from there, they have the advantage. And they keep that advantage. They know that they've got the ultimate advantage in every fight. The other teams had to do a full comp swap. And they just absolutely take advantage of their better economy, their better positioning, because they're able to set up around the point to ensure that they cannot give PPE Revival an inch. Because they know if they give them an inch, PPE Revival will take a mile. That's happened time and time again throughout this series. And so we just see a flawless play there from the members of 1HP to close this one out after a grueling series between these two teams. And congratulations on a well-fought victory. And congratulations to PPE Revival as well for a hard-fought match.
So, Peronius, many sports have this, but there is a special award for people in the finals. In the Super Bowl, it's the Super Bowl MVP. It doesn't have a fancy name. In the NHL, when you win the Stanley Cup, someone is awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy. That is for MVP of the playoffs. So my question to you here, in a series so evenly matched, first of all, how do you even pick an MVP? And then second of all, who do you pick as your MVP?
It's a hard one because these sorts of compositions, these sorts of matches, it's a team effort. Every player needs to rely on all of their teammates doing everything they need to get these victories. But if there's one player that stood out for me on this 1HP roster, it has to be Bad. There's been some incredible flex support play from there. We've seen the difference being made time and time again. Some great biotic grenades, some really great flexing, getting a lot done on that Doomfist, and just all out some really solid plays there from Bad, keeping alive, keeping the teammates alive, and really driving this one home. So I think for me, the MVP has to be Bad.
I'm going to give it to a player in a position that never really gets a lot of love when it comes down to MVP votes. That's Fabai. I find that like on a support like that, it's really hard to even get consideration in these. You don't necessarily notice like a Lucio's impact a lot of the times unless they do like the Razorfish-esque or really flashy, yeah, I'm just gonna get 5 boops off a ledge in a game in a single like life kind of thing. Unless they're doing that, you don't really notice it. But really what I have to point out is it was like a phenomenal job of being around the team, getting them out and in and like at the right times. I find just he helped so much with the coordination, and then when he swapped to Moira, was doing all kinds of work as well. Granted, Moira, it's a special hero. I'm not going to say anything insulting to Moira or Moira mains, but yeah, I think for once in my life, I'm going to give credit to the Lucio player and give MVP that way.
Yeah.
For
So
once in my life.
For once in your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, those people that say I cannot change, I have changed. I've actually given credit to a support.
Yeah, I think so. That's
like,
yeah.
So I'll be honest with you, I should get some like angry Twitter DMs just being like, how come you always give MVP to like the DPS or a tank? How come the support never gets some love? So Feedby, you popped my support cherry. There you go.
Yeah, so it is the support players from both of us. We may have highlighted different players, but I think we're in agreement there that the support lineup really has made all the difference in this series. And with that, that is going to be the conclusion here of this season of Revival. Thank you all for being with us on this journey throughout all the weeks. We'll be back, no doubt, in the near future with more AoE content, so stay tuned for that then.
And actually, speaking of that, before we go, I do see that Owen joined. I don't know if that's for the sake of talking to us afterwards. Maybe Owen actually has something he wants to say to the stream. Owen? Owen? Oh, that's anticlimactic.
He may be AFK.
He may have gone AFK. He's not even gonna say hi now after we've built this up so much that he's even here. He's not even just gonna be like, hi. I'm trying. I'm really trying for you guys. We want the Owen on stream, but he's not willing to give it. In fact, he is telling me a certain place, something I can do, a certain place I can do something with, and it's very much not safe for stream. So I'm not going to elaborate what that was, but I'm sure if you have imagination, you can tell what action he wants me to do to myself. And with that, congratulations again to OneHP on a tremendous, like honestly, a dominant season. They looked phenomenal all the way through. And for Revival, heads up, that was an amazing series. You got to be proud of yourself, even though you didn't quite pull it out at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And best of luck to both these teams in the next round of Open Div. We'll be watching very closely your progress through there. And yeah, hopefully we can see some familiar faces make it through to the next season of Contenders Trials and maybe even make it all the way to challenge the big dogs. But that's about all we've got left here from us. I've been Pyronius. Joining me has been Graham, the Dreamboat, Graham Casts. You can find both of us on Twitter. And, well, do you have any final words?
Again, thanks to AoE for another amazing season, year, months, however long it's been. It feels like ages, but that's always what's so special about it. And of course, Pyronius, how can I not shout out you? You're a tremendous co-caster. I feel like you get better every single time I cast with you, and
thank you.
That's crazy considering when you start at a high start. I didn't think there was room for you to go up, and all of us every week I'm just like, oh my god, this guy's phenomenal. And speaking of phenomenal, I do also need to give a shout out to Absent Friend. You know exactly who I'm talking about, Pyronius.
I do.
Mr. Lutz, Cyberwaste, Justin, my boy. Love you, man. Sad you're not here. I would have loved to do this as a TriCast, but he's out of town or he's away. He didn't actually specify out of town. I'm assuming it means away. But much love to you, Mr. Cyberwaste. Wish you were here. And till next time, my friend.